Donald Trump just got humiliated by his own network, Fox News, the same channel that's been carrying water for him for a decade, just dropped a poll so brutal, so devastating, that even his own base is running for the exits. We're talking historic collapse numbers, sub 30% approval on the economy, a 50-point swing against him among people who didn't even vote in 2024. And the cherry on top, while Americans can't afford groceries, gas, or health care, Trump is sitting on a nearly $2 billion slush fund for January 6th rioters. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why even Fox News can't spin this disaster anymore. And if you want more breakdowns like this, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. Let's start with the Fox News poll itself, because this is the part that should terrify any Republican strategist. Trump's economic approval has fallen to 29%. Let that sink in. Not from CNN, not from MSNBC, but Fox's own internal polling. 68% of voters disapprove of his handling of the economy. And when you ask people what's bothering them most, 58% say the cost of living is their number one concern. That's up 8 points since February. More than 3/4 of voters, 77%, say the economy is in bad shape. Only 23% think things are going well. That's not a minor dip. That's a full-blown collapse in confidence, and it's not isolated to Fox. Gallup's Economic Confidence Index dropped to -45, the lowest it's been since 2022. Only 16% of Americans rate the economy as excellent or good, while 49% call it outright poor. Then there's the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, which fell to 44.8 in May, a record low. Rising gas prices and living costs are crushing American households, and the data is showing it across every single survey. Now here's where it gets even worse for Trump. Right after the 2024 election, Trump's net approval rating was sitting at a healthy +4. People were optimistic. He had momentum. Fast forward to today, and that number has cratered, completely fallen through the floor. But here's the real story. Look at the voters who didn't even cast a ballot in 2024. The people who sat the election out. Among that group, Trump's net approval has collapsed by more than 50 points. A 50-point swing against a president from people who weren't even invested enough to vote for or against him in the first place. That's not a small group of disillusioned partisans. That's a massive segment of the country that watched Trump's first months back in office and decided, no thanks. These are the people who could decide the midterms, and right now, they are furious. And when you break down the approval numbers further, it gets uglier. Among non-MAGA Republicans, white voters, rural Americans, groups that are supposed to be Trump's bread and butter, approval is sitting in the mid-30s. These aren't liberal strongholds. These are the people Trump needs in his corner, and they're walking away. Here's the problem for Trump and the Republican Party heading into the midterms. There's nothing to campaign on. No major legislative accomplishments. The reconciliation bill stalled. Why? Because instead of focusing on policy that could actually help working Americans, Trump got distracted fighting over compensation for people involved in the January 6th investigations, even floating the idea that, in his words, very fine people who came in on January 6th deserve to be compensated. Meanwhile, gas prices have surged 45%, largely tied to the administration's decision to escalate conflict with Iran. And Americans are watching their president focus on a private ballroom project and a massive discretionary fund instead of the price of groceries, rent, and gas. One GOP Senate aide reportedly called the party's so-called victories, like pushing out certain members of Congress, nothing more than a mirage. Even insiders are admitting there's no substance behind the messaging. And as one commentator put it, this isn't a normal political slump. Normally, when a president is struggling, the playbook is simple: admit mistakes, show humility, demonstrate change. Americans are forgiving. They'll give second chances if they see genuine effort. But the analogy used was perfect. It's like telling someone to go to rehab, but instead they're sitting at the bar saying, "I'm going to quit." There's no follow-through, no course correction, just more of the same. Now let's talk about this almost $2 billion fund Trump has set up, what critics are calling an anti-weaponization fund. The pitch is that this money would go toward compensating people who claim they were unfairly targeted by federal investigations, including, potentially, individuals connected to the January 6th Capitol riot. Defenders of the fund argue that if someone was wrongly investigated, lost their job, or paid massive legal fees because of government overreach, they deserve compensation, and that taxpayers would actually support that idea once they understand the reasoning. But critics see it very differently. Their argument: Americans aren't sitting around angry about government weaponization lawsuits. They're worried about how to pay for groceries, how to fill up their gas tank, and how to afford a doctor's visit. And while families are stretched thin, nearly $2 billion could end up going toward people connected to one of the most controversial events in recent American history. It's a split that captures the entire moment. A White House focused on settling political scores, while voters are focused on survival. Here's what makes this moment so unusual. Fox News, historically one of Trump's biggest allies in media, is now reporting numbers that paint an undeniable picture of decline. As one major political publication put it, the network as a whole can no longer avoid acknowledging that Trump's presidency appears to be in serious trouble. The argument is that Trump's support has shrunk down to what's being described as its molten core, the most loyal hardcore base, while everyone else has drifted away. And Trump's entire political identity has always been built around one core claim: that he's a brilliant businessman who understands the economy better than anyone. But now, even the polling from his most sympathetic network is telling voters he doesn't. Not when it comes to their wallets, their gas tanks, or their grocery bills. The affordability crisis, something Trump has previously dismissed as a talking point invented by Democrats, is now the single biggest issue driving voter anger, according to his own side's polling. So here's where things stand, just months away from the midterms. A president with historically low approval, a party with no major wins to show voters, an economy that the vast majority of Americans say is in bad shape, and a controversy over billions of dollars that could go toward January 6th related compensation, while families struggle to pay bills. If even Fox News can't spin this anymore, that should tell you everything you need to know about where things are headed. What do you think? Is this the beginning of a major shift before the midterms? Or can Trump turn this around? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown like this one. We've got a lot more coming. See you in the next video.